Alrighty, welcome teachers, families, and friends of 2015 Slam Poets. My name is Alyssa, and I will be your host this evening. I am a former student of Mr. Leonhardi's and a slam poetry alumni of 2 years. So I would like to start off by explaining just exactly what slam poetry is and what it means to these students, because I know you all came here with some funky ideas of what you were getting yourselves into. Now, when Mr. Leonhardi introduced us to slam poetry, he didn't just give us a new assignment or show us a new skill or hobby. He gave us a space, a safe space, just a pen and paper. He gave us a space to be able to explore and experiment and play with these emotions and feelings and alternate universes inside of us teenagers. And I'm here to let you know that it can get a little intense and at times even scary. But nonetheless, it is our very words that will reach and connect with the world we live in. So, that, my friends, is what these poets have come to do tonight. So let us hold that same space for them, yes? When you like what you hear, when you can relate or connect with something that is said, go ahead and cheer our poets on with some snaps. And please hold your applause until the end of each performance. Our first poet of the night is a volunteer at a nonprofit called Warfighter, where she has met numerous war-torn veterans that have greatly impacted her life. This is Jasmine Blanton with You Wouldn't Know.
This isn't even a war we wanted, you say, and so you shy away. But those men who signed up don't own this war either. It didn't come with the warning label, caution, you will lose limbs. You will lose brothers, and you can bet your ass you'll lose your mind, because war is not kind. She is a witch from the depths of hell that will ruin your life, causing everything you own to become meaningless. You will come back to a house, and it will no longer be a home, because that tent you pitched those months ago is what protected you from the cold. You're welcomed by your family, but your kids have grown. And your wife can't keep you warm like she used to. You know she would do anything for you. But would she give her life like so many of your brothers did? In 1993, he pledged allegiance to the Marine Corps. In 96, he joined recon and became deadly for the war. In 2008, to black it faded, when a man jumped on his Humvee and detonated. The force of the explosion rocked his life. He was overcome with every emotion of anger and hatred for himself for that miserable card that he was dealt. He still remembers those he lost and those he made lose. And like so many other veterans, he has to choose between life and finishing what the insurgents couldn't do. He has to deal with the guilt of not saving those he lost. He has to decide if pulling the trigger is worth the cost. Barely staying alive, his conscience ate itself. Miserable because of the card that he was dealt. But my dad isn't a quitter. And he turned his life around because instead of picking up the gun and shooting, he stopped being bitter. He celebrated life and told his demons to go back to hell where they belong. But there are so many veterans still in that low, and you wouldn't know because instead of reporting the news, there are 2-hour shows on a Kardashian's shoes. But don't worry, I'll catch you up. 22 veterans a day are committing suicide, and you don't even know that they died. They signed their lives away to protect from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, and I can't tell if you care about being free. If you do, then prove it. Don't stand by. I guarantee you know someone affected by a veteran's suicide.
Desire to express the reality around the most common overused question. This is Delena Lopez with How Are You?
Hello, how are you? Or how do you do? A common, most frequent question asked when one is being addressed. Usually, the askee would reply back to the asker, I am good, how about you? Who could have guessed? Long story short, their conversation can drift upon from there. In the end, they probably had a few words to share. As for me, I somewhat catch myself asking this question to those I'm surrounded by. It's the easiest way to greet a person after saying, hi. They mostly answer me honestly. I'm great, mad, happy, sad, fine, okay, modestly. However, when they ask how I am in return, without hesitation, I'd say ordinarily and plain, I'm good, even if I'm not. But I don't want to make it of their concern. I am not eager to lie about how I truly feel. The I'm good response happens to be an automatic choice on my mood spinning wheel. Sometimes when I respond that I'm the opposite of good, they'll question why. I pause, come up with another lie, soon to imply our goodbye. It goes on from there. I guess my best friend really is despair. It's more than just a lack of sleep. It's all the pain I'm having to keep. It's the feelings that are getting too deep and are somehow stuck on repeat. It's falling down and not being able to get back up on my feet. It's the constant weeping, the heavy breathing. It's not just sleep deprivation, it's a lack of motivation while listening to the same old radio station. You might have the wrong interpretation and you need an actual illustration. Depression isn't just sadness and crying. It's more like silently dying. I know I must fight. This is all what has been keeping me up at night. All the anguish being bottled up inside. It's starting to shift my aspirations aside. Each day, I am brought back to square one once more. I realize it's a massive battle than before. Trust me, I am trying my best, but this is one heck of a quest. I am struggling here and getting real tired of this me. When can I be at ease and rest free? Hopefully, there will be a time for me to look back. That's when I'll be right on track. The future seems unclear, knowing it is so near. When will I be content? Enough for me to vent. How I've been when they ask. I want to get rid of the fake, I'm good mask. I am patient, yet slowly breaking apart. Life is one big dartboard. I'm counting on my last dart. If I ever hit bullseye, I will confidently answer, I'm good, no lie. We'll wait, you'll see. Although one thing that will remain the same as I'll ask, how are you? Anticipating you've been sincerely good as well, I guarantee.
This next poem is about the journey of judgment and self-love. Here is Andrea Juarez and Madison McDonald with Dear Friends.
Dear friends, who have not learned to accept other people as more than the vessels they carry themselves in.
When you speak of other bodies around my own, I know that I may not be the intended victim. There may be no intended victim at all, but chalk marks will appear on every flaw you feel the need to point out. And any courage I have left is subject to suffocation.
Your comments of, that girl has disgusting thighs.
Comments of, she should not be wearing shorts.
Comments of, well, that just makes her a slut.
Comments of, she's ugly.
Her back is turned, and she is oblivious to the hate sent out like bullets from your mouth. They do not harm her in that moment, but those bullets ricochet off her thighs onto my own. It is the first time in months that I am wearing shorts.
You spot another human, again, being only human, and your outpour of negativity continues indefinitely.
It continues, look at those hideous scars.
Continues, it's just for attention.
Continues, he isn't trying hard enough.
He's wearing long sleeves in 90-degree weather, and you're acting like his body is on display for you to critique. But I'll let you in on a secret.
Every masterpiece has been forced through weather and time, and the right to judge another's body is neither yours nor mine.
You turn to me, waiting for approval, for some kind of validation in your unwanted hate and degradation.
I will not agree with vulture mentality, circling around bodies, dead or alive, picking them apart, telling them they should strive to be anything but themselves. Dear friends, people do not exist for you to find them aesthetically pleasing.
The weight of another does not define their worth, nor does it define their effort.
For anyone with stretch marks, they are not tally marks keeping track of your failures.
They are a sign of growth, the pencil marks on walls tracking your progress from the beginning.
You are so beautiful, and you should not compare the only thing you truly own to someone else's idea of what you should look like.
You should look like you.
Stretch marks,
scars,
thick thighs.
Do not even for a second believe the lies they will force on you. Dear friends, it's just too easy to forget that insecurities are not exclusive to the people you will never speak to,
but instead can infect us all through the process of hearing imperfect accusations fall from your own,
my own,
her own,
his own,
their own imperfect mouths.
Next, we have a senior here at SHAP planning to attend Viola in the fall, but she's here tonight with the story behind her GPA. Presenting Fight the Good Fight, here is Summer Hamida.
When I was in my mother's womb, the doctor said to abort me. My mother chose life, but that's not the point to the story. Growing up was not quite what you would consider normal. Reading the Quran, wearing a headscarf is what I called formal. In 3rd grade, things began to fall apart. My parents split and I had to restart. Custody battles and court dates filled my schedule completely. I had to write letters to judges, signing sincerely. At age 13, someone told me about Jesus Christ. To me, praying and reading was just simply advice. I lived for myself and pushed God aside, satisfying my flesh, my heart ached and cried. Instead of running to God, I tied up my cleats and I ran on the field. When life came shooting arrows, I made soccer my shield. Injuries started popping up around like obstacles. God tried to slow me down, but I said, not possible. I lied to my dad and denied Christ as my savior. It wasn't too long until I noticed my change in behavior. Conviction settled in. I couldn't take it anymore. I confessed I was Christian and my dad closed the door. 3 years have passed by, not a word spoken in between. The curtains remained closed, veiling the next scene. With my dad out of the picture, I felt disowned. As if this whole time, I was never really his kid. As if I was just alone. In an attempt to fill the void, I sought attention from guys. Relation after relation, it just left me unsatisfied. I searched and searched for something more, like being pretty, which only left me insecure. I wanted people to notice, to pay attention, talking to guys with the wrong intentions. I curled my hair and got all dolled up, sensitive and vulnerable. I packed on the makeup. At age 15, I decided to go to a discipleship camp. My eyes were opened as if someone turned on a lamp. Counselors explained how it wasn't about religion, rather a relationship with God and his vision. They told me I didn't need worldly affection, that I didn't have to be jealous, because I have a Father up in heaven who looks down and says, you are precious. They taught me that fine apparel and braiding my hair wasn't the point to the picture. They prayed with me and backed it up with scripture. My leaders counseled me and said to count the cost. Was following Jesus worth it? Did the benefits outweigh the loss? I learned that when my past says I am unworthy, my God says freely receive my grace and my mercy. I finally understood that only God can satisfy. I trust at every one of Satan's lies, my God will always testify. Through the trials and temptations, he will guide me step by step. Choosing to follow and walk with God won't ever be a regret. What seemed as 5 short weeks really lasted for eternity. Showed me how to follow Jesus earnestly, to grab my armor and my sword with the prize in sight. This is how I learned to fight the good fight.
Next, we have a poet whose poem is about a topic she is not really familiar with whatsoever. But for it is, here is Meg Green with Sex Id.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about sex education in the school district and the nation as a whole. We all know sex is a touchy subject, so it's understandable that sex education would tend to walk on the milder side, sticking to principles like less is more, short and sweet, vague and fear-based. The class doesn't want to waste time on distracting details. Who needs pictures? Minimalist diagrams get the job done just as well. Of course your genitals look like highway maps. Don't worry, the class is totally inclusive. According to TVUSD administrative regulation, the class must be appropriate for all genders, religions, and sexual orientations. So, of course, we were taught that a man and a woman should wait until the holy day of matrimony before committing this sacrilegious act. We were told we would have rumors spread about us if we were to succumb to our primal needs, not that we shouldn't chastise the status of our peers' chastity. We were told that sending nudes made us totally unattractive to the opposite gender, not that it is child pornography and illegal contraband under federal law. We were told rape happens in alleyways and parking lots. Ugly old men with glasses and mustaches. We were not told that it could happen under the bleachers at a football game, or in you and your husband's bed, or at a family reunion, blanketed with whispers of love and trust. They don't tell us why the age of consent matters or even what consent is. They don't tell us it's not the victim's fault. With this, I send a message to my friends who think they can't get an STD from their partner because they share the same gender. To the girls who don't know their own name until it falls from their boyfriend's lips and he's too careless to catch it. To my friends who... With this, I send a message. Oh, no, the next one. Gotta warn people. Spread the word. Okay. You have been cheated. You have been lied to. You deserve to know your body. To know that any minor can purchase the morning after pill. To know that the most popular genders may not suit you, and that's okay. To know that sex may not be your thing, now or ever. To know that unlike the lock and key metaphor, you are not defined by your usefulness or your promiscuity. You are more than your anatomy, and your sole purpose is autonomy. Sex education, society, and the system have failed you, not the other way around.
Alrighty, our next poet desires to send a message about what society should see in the eyes of others. This is Stormy Jackson with Look Into My Eyes.
my eyes and what do you see? Do you see the silent cries I shared with my mental captivity? Look into my eyes and what do you see? Do you see the blood, sweat, and tears that run down my face because they fear the enemy? Look into my eyes. What do you see? Do you see the constant fear of that boy or that girl dying because he or she believes in something greater? See, what's wrong with people today? Churches are hospitals and nobody's going. Do you see that young, trying athlete who's a father-to-be? Look into their eyes and what do you see? Do you see the constant hate of that bully? Do you see the cold sweats of that young black boy trying to make it home safely because police brutality took a turn on his homie? Do you see the old man roaming the streets looking for something to eat? Do you see the innocent Muslim child getting killed for wanting to be Christian? Look into their eyes and what do you see? Besides the sad lies society tends to hide behind blank walls and lines. Do you see that innocent boy committing suicide for homosexuality? No. You see the fake smiles that hide behind their eyes, the forced joy they have because they can't have the truth on why they have to hide what's slowly killing them inside. But yet we look evil in the eye and we just love the money provided for us. We look at these people and we laugh. And swear that could never be us. Not knowing that our low self-esteem is what brings us down. I'm tired. We look into their eyes as to no mission to save their lives. Waiting for a storm to pass, knowing God wants us out there saving like He saved me. But yet, we're in a world that just worries about themselves. And I sit there and I think, what do you see? We see. The nation sees. Ask somebody, and they will tell you nothing.
Alrighty, so if anyone knows Senior Cameron Chastain, they know his strange love for the Joker. So this poem should come as no surprise. As a letter from the Joker to the Bat himself, this is Clown to Bat.
Dear my sweet sour-faced flying rodent. Hi, how's it going? Me, oh, just fine, just sitting in a jail cell, again, thanks to your doing. But, if you, yeah, it's fine, really it's fine, because it's giving me some time to think. Some time to think about you and me and our little situation. You and I have been going at it together for years, and it's always the same thing. You know, I strapped some poor innocent soul into an electric chair, and you stopped me if I punched my beautiful smiling face, and then it's pisses and giggles till the cows come home. Or until I decide to switch from the electric chair to, say, a drill press. But I digress. If you think you're alone in this thing, this bat thing, you're wrong. Oh boy, you're wrong, because you see, you're a freak like me. But it's okay, trust me, it's okay, because it just brings me to this. We're the same. We complete each other. We're two sides of the same coin. We don't exist without each other. Who would I be without you? And who would you be without me? We're the same, don't you get it? We both exist because of them, the scum of the world. We're both products of misery, suffering, and idiots. We're the same ones. We're the same. Now you'll deny this, of course. He's so damn stubborn. Sometimes stoic, so in denial of your own sanity that you cannot accept the fact that you're just as crazy as I am, you stupid bat. You stubborn, stoic, crazy, stupid bat. But hey, it's fine. It's okay. We are the same. Now, don't get me wrong, you're clearly not an idiot. And you talk like one. And you dress like one. Come to think of it, you drive like one too, to be honest. But don't get me wrong, you really are an idiot. But don't you say that you are saner than I am. You're the one parading around in the middle of the night with the young boy. I mean, hello, mister. But, I mean, hello, I'm the one rocking the green hair and makeup, so, you know, I got that going for me. One day, you're gonna snap, just like I did. One day, you're gonna see. One day, you're gonna see why. One day, you're finally gonna get it. I'm not the monster. You are. You've got a cape, a cave, a cowl, a rocket car, and your own signal to prove that. I know who I am, do you? No. No, you don't. You just have to face it, Bats. You're delirious. You're just gonna have to sit and ask yourself one day, why so serious?
Alrighty, inspired by their frustration with society today, here is Amy Cheek and Sydney Louderback with Is It Fair?
So, I pleaded for an iPhone 6, but they only got me a 4. Don't they care about me? And sir, I asked for skim milk, but you brought me whole. I can't drink this.
My daughter hasn't talked to her father in 10 years. There are no cell phones where I live. Sir, is it okay if I go through that trash can? I'm just trying to find a meal for the night. Is that fair?
There's no Wi-Fi in the store. I'm gonna be so bored. And another writing assignment? I hate school.
You want some entertainment? I'd rather just stay alive. I work my 10-hour shifts at the factory every night. You get to go to school for free. I get to go to work to provide for my 7 siblings because both of my parents are dead. Is that fair?
Well, my mom turned off my Xbox again. And all because I didn't wash one dish. Why can't she just let me play?
My mom, she disappeared. Again, missing at night with those men. I hope she will be okay. Is that fair?
Another doctor's appointment. I'm gonna miss the football game. And the pool man didn't even finish cleaning the jacuzzi. How am I supposed to relax tonight?
My daughter has malaria. There's no health care here. I live in dirt and heat. Bones exposed, I'm struggling to survive. Is that fair?
Yes, I finally got those designer jeans from the thrift store. Now I will fit in with the cool kids.
I have no shoes. My feet are covered in blisters and bruises. I just hope to make it home and safe.
But why did the cop give me a speeding ticket? I mean, I was only going 85.
If they come tonight, we better run. They will knock down our doors. Is that fair?
And believe it or not, I made it home safely from Becky's house last night, even though the streetlight was out.
I never go out at night, because if I do, it's like going through a battlefield. The sound of firing will ring within my ears. I'm scared for my life. Is that fair? Is it right that these are our daily issues? We must sound so ridiculous with our first world problems. But hey, it's not our problem, right? I mean, we're Americans, not some street slums. Maybe if we saw the third world struggle other than when Oprah airs it on TV, we would make life better for all. That's America Made, right?
Alrighty, born and raised in New Jersey and Philadelphia, this next poet is now using that inspiration to share with you all the things she's witnessed.
What is the world coming to anymore? People are playing games just to pass out to the floor. A little girl playing center on her bed, and next thing you know, she fell down and hit her head. Mama came in and seen a little girl on the floor. She started screaming, so Daddy came running through the door, and from her head, the blood started to pour. Took her to the hospital. Doctor said she wasn't living anymore. But wait, there's more. What about 13-year-old girls who are already known as whores? She started getting undressed. The boy was very impressed. He laid her down, and I know you know the rest. Guy after guy, and all they do is cheat, and she knew they didn't look at her any more than just a treat. But she acted like she never knew. She started getting sick, especially in the morning too. Her feet started swelling, and she couldn't fit her own shoe, and her belly got bigger, and that's when she knew. She was pregnant, and there was nothing she could do, so she started going through each and every single dude. But none gave any interest or any kind of money invest. And she knew her life was over, so she approached her mom, who's barely sober. Now, Mom took her by the hair, threw her down the stairs, kicked her to the floor, and insulted her and told her she was one filthy whore. But then the girl felt something and her stomach was torn. Had to go to the hospital to get a C-section. Something wasn't right, some kind of objection. Baby came out and not one breath he was catching. She started to cry, looked at her mother and knew she was the reason he had to die. And to the girls who like to act older than they are, walking down the street until you're stopped by a car. Thought you were invincible, so you never thought it would go this far. He throws you in the trunk. The man can hear you screaming, so he turns his speakers up. Now you're in a room drugged up. He thinks it's funny, so he starts to snatch you up. Now you get raped and beat, and now the room's pitch black, and you can barely see. You're finding some way to be free, looking for fate. At home, your dinner's getting cold on the plate. Your family's worried around the table in shock. They turn their heads to the clock. On your end, the guy grabs his gun, clicking clock, and then you're dead. So many tears were shed. Don't think this can't ever happen to you. Everything your parents ever told you is true. That's right. And to the ones doped up on drugs, walking around with their pants low, thinking that they're thugs, thinking you're a killer and can pull any plug, man, you're just young. And the things you're doing is out of whack. Young boy thought selling drugs will help the money stack. And respect he lacked. Parents told him, but he talked back. Got a call from Jack, said he needed some, so he started to pack. And his parents watched him walk out the doorway, no words exchanged. Speeding on the highway. Got himself smoked up so he could fly away. Then he started to pull over in the alleyway. And in his stomach he knew something wasn't right. He stepped out the door, the guy gripped him up real tight, screaming, "Give me all you got!" Pulled the trigger, then the boy dropped. The crazy thing is, these things we can't stop. We need to stop this happily ever after pretending. This is real life. Things don't always end with a happy ending.
Alrighty, next we have a poet whose poem shows us what the cow would say. This is Claire Wilson with Your Happy Meal.
Hi, my name is Betsy, and I'm a happy cow from California. Or maybe I'm a laughing cow. Or maybe I come from America's Dairyland, a name that's said with oohs and ahs like it's this great new theme park, where dreams come true. No matter where I'm from, one thing remains true. I am not happy. Not only that, I don't even have the love and support of my family because I was torn away from my mother at a mere 2 weeks old, and my father is a human's arm with the grotesque extension of a white tube turkey baster. All of my brothers are carted off in veal crates. And as for me and my sisters, we have the same fate as my mother, and your exhausted milk machine. The rest of my life, however brief it will be, is already decided. I will be raised rapidly through wheat and cornmeal infused with artificial hormones so that I can be impregnated sooner than I would be on a home farm. Once my baby is born, they will be ripped away from me almost as soon as they arrive, leaving me screaming after them. But I will go unheard. Instead of feeding my newborn, a metal contraption will be swift in draining me of my calf's nourishment as well as any life I had left in me. Not one drop will go to my calf, but instead to a facility that will pasteurize and bottle my product to later be sold on a shelf for your enjoyment. In my spare time, I try to lie in my cage, just barely big enough for me, and dream of a better fate. While I'm standing knee-deep in my own manure, you're admiring those sweet new leather boots you got at such a good price. Little do you know or care that those boots will come from my skin, my flesh, my being, because as long as they're 60% off, you won't care about the meaning. Because the store isn't going to tell you that an animal was harmed in the making of this product, because all they care about is the plastic in your leather wallet. The rest of my life will be one of servitude. To who? I'll never know. All I will know is the pain, grief, and exhaustion that plagues every dairy cow's life. Whether we like it or not, we're serving a life sentence. Here lies Betsy, in a paper grave, reading 100% grade A beef, only to be sold for $1.09 to the next grief fuel customer who will not give a damn where their meal came from, but will cause a scene if there aren't enough pickles on their cheeseburger. Bon appetit.
Inspired by her frustration towards society's emphasis on image, here is Ariana Maxwell with Pretty.
Barbie. Good trend.
Ever since I was young, I would tell myself that I wanted to be pretty. I would long to look like the girls in the magazines, and I would pray to be skinny like the ones on the runway. Pretty, I would tell myself, because being pretty maybe one day could help me find a cute boy like a princess would in the movies, and we'd go off and live happily ever after. Because that seemed perfect, right? But this conception of perfectionism that was bubbling inside my head, I knew I wasn't the only one who thought it. The dreadful thoughts I concluded about myself created a dark cloud of depression, as this belief of being pretty consumed my mind every minute of the day. Telling myself, well, maybe I shouldn't eat that pack of chips. Maybe I should wait till dinner. Maybe I shouldn't eat dinner at all, because somewhere in my mind, I thought skipping meals could solve all my problems. Pretty, I thought. But pretty, I was wrong. No matter how hard a person tries to date, society's distorted image of what is really pretty will never fit the body of a normal person. But pretty is what I still wanted to be. In the dictionary, it says to be pretty is to be pleasing or attractive in a graceful or delicate manner. These words, they are true by many, but a mere definition cannot be the reason so many people destroy their lives each and every day. A sound is all it is, I told myself. A 6-letter word. How can it affect so many people? A word whose definition can be altered by those all over. Country to country, we all have our image of perfection.
But it wasn't till recent I noticed it's all a lie. To be beautiful, to have grace, it is not just looks. Pretty, I realize, it is not the way you look. It's when you're laughing so hard that you start tearing up or maybe even snort. And it's when you're singing along to a song on the radio, belching out the lyrics despite the fact you cannot sing a single note. And it's when your eyes become puffy and red when you cry, and your voice becomes harsh when you speak, but you may not know it, but the trembling in your voice and the tenderness of your hugs gives comfort to someone in this world. Pretty. It's that scar on your knee that hasn't gone away since you were little and decided to jump off the playground because you felt you were invincible. Embrace it. Your body, it is your home that has comforted you through the bad and the good, and it has protected you from danger. That's what is beautiful. The scars, freckles, stretch marks, and color that you are is what is beautiful, because when you look at a person on a magazine, the true beauty is brushed away with makeup and diet pills and Photoshop and implants. The true beauty is brushed away. Insecurity is all that is left, and pain is all that will be brought on. Pretty. It is a lie, and learning to realize it may be hard, but it is worth it because believing this lie can create an infectious disease worse than any other. So please, I beg of you, forget this lie. Forget this lie that burns a hole so deep in my throat, that can create a fire so harsh in my mind, it can destroy acres of forest, leaving nothing but burnt ashes and dust. The lie that produces hearts to ache and feelings to shatter as people all across the world long to be someone else. Learn not to be pretty, because pretty does not define a person. A label, I say. Rejoice in your mistakes and imperfections because they are unlike anyone else. Like a tree and its leaves falling from the cold season, the beauty of the color blows away from the harsh winds. Don't let the winds get to you. Be the leaves that long to stay on and fade out with the cold, that can survive and are recognized for the features and strength they provide for the world to see.
Alrighty, our next poet is here to share with us her struggle with self-love. Here is Mary Stevens with Conceited.
All these boys are telling me, you're so conceited. Stop being so self-centered, and maybe you'll get that boyfriend you've been pining after. I smile, and it's a smile as white as snow, painted the red of the blood I'll shed every heart I break. Because let me tell you, I am anything but. I was 10 years old when my grandmother died, and I felt like I'd lost my whole world. When I was 11, my friends abandoned me because of my sexuality. 12, when I first wanted myself dead. 13, when I turned to writing instead of friends. 14, when I thought things might actually get better. 15, when my father came back after 4 years' absence. 16, when I fell in love, and he broke my heart so bad that by the time I was 17, I hated myself so damn much, I carved the word worthless onto my left wrist. I was 17 when I said, enough. 6 months of therapy just to get me stable enough not to experience that hate. And in that time, you know what I learned? I learned to love myself before I let someone else's negativity affect me. I was 17 when I came out as a bisexual. I was 17 when I realized that my best friends were a breakfast club all of our own. I was 17 when I applied to my dream school and got accepted. 17 when I learned to love my appearance, accept what circumstances I can't change, let go of doubt, live in the moment, treat yourself, laugh at stupid jokes, get mad at ignorant people, and never, ever let someone else's negativity get in my way. A year and a half ago, I didn't think I'd live to see my 17th birthday. But now that I look back, I realize my 17th year was one of the best damn years I have ever had. Now I'm 18, and I have nothing but love for myself and lack the tolerance to deal with those who call me conceited. Am I selfish? Yeah, a bit. I'm only human. But after everything I went through to get this far, I damn well deserve it. So a middle finger to everyone who calls me selfish for loving myself before considering the opinions of the bastards who brought me down. The same finger to the boys who think me unworthy of their praise because I wear lipstick the color of blood and wing my eyeliner. The same finger to the adults who will never try to understand my sexuality. The same finger to those who leave me hate on social media. And the same finger to society whose view, because of its view that I can't love myself because I am a woman, a bisexual, a student, and a writer. This is me saying that I love myself more than I hate people like you.
Brady, this next poet kindly requests that you politely laugh at the appropriate times. This is Maya Jimenez with Celebrity Status.
Maya! Hey!
So I'm pretty sure at one point in our lives we all wanted to be famous, right? I mean, it's not every day you hear a kid declare his undying desire to become a mathematician. See, children understand where the money is. Acting, singing, modeling, anyone can do it. I mean, it can't be that hard to strike a pose, and we're all fairly attractive. Some of us with the right filter. Except that makes us sound greedy and vain. So, like, we can't all be in it for the money or because we look halfway decent on a good day. So let's say that some of us want to be famous because our role models include the star-studded pedigree of Ashton Kutcher, Angelina Jolie, and Her Majesty Beyonce. We see them looking really good on the red carpet and we think, I could do that. I want to be like them. And if you're like me, and your voice can be vaguely compared to a creaky basement door, you arrive at the conclusion that if you can't walk the walk, you can at least look the part. Except you don't have $300 to just throw at that pair of Michael Kors sunglasses you saw Nicki Minaj wearing in People magazine. God forbid anyone catch you wearing knockoffs. So you do the logical thing and you get a job. In the fast food industry, because that's the only place that would hire you, because you're a high school student and you have no job experience whatsoever because you wasted your freshman and sophomore year sleeping and neglecting your homework instead of, I don't know, applying yourself or getting your community service hours done. But back to the point. You get a job so that you could buy the things you saw your celebrity role model wear, so that you could look good too, because with that Gucci wristwatch and those Swarovski diamond earrings, you are officially one step closer to achieving celebrity status. Sorry. So close you could practically smell the free coffee you will receive when the barista at Starbucks mistakes you for young Jennifer Lopez. A+. We all know that clothes make the man. What is draped on your body when you walk out your front door will define you until the moment you strip, because humans are visual creatures, and if we like what we see, well, that's where everything gets complicated, because if we like what we see, we will call BS because there's no way all of that is real. Do not kid yourself.
We will pick apart your flaws like flower petals, and suddenly you have to take a step back from celebrity status. The limelight of stardom isn't so sweet anymore because America has the tendency to catch glances of celebrities through the scope of a sniper. The tabloids are stacked with unflattering snapshots and 3-year-old scandals that should have been kept in the closet. A multi-billion-dollar industry has been built, brick by brick, with disillusionment and misconceptions. And you're probably thinking, but this is America, home of the free and land of the brave. Correction, this is the land of capitalism and the home of repressed minorities. America is built on several things, including, but not limited to, the concept of the melting pot and a people's government and equal opportunity. But more importantly, America is built on cash, and we are slaves to the trade, taught to look upwards to the people that shine like dying stars, taught to worship them like gods, taught to follow their example, taught to build them up like skyscrapers until pretty soon they're blocking the sun. We are taught to build others up before ourselves. See, that explains why archaeologists have unearthed monuments of religious figures, powerful leaders of ancient empires, war heroes built 100 feet in the air. In building these statues, we elevate them to the status of stars, dying pinpricks of light laid bare in the night sky, stripped of their identity, unforgiven of the flaws that make them human. See, we build them up only to knock them down. We realize that their perfection is lukewarm. But how could anyone live up to this standard, this baseline of beauty? If we succumb to this cycle of building and knocking down, we will burn in our hypocrisy. We will shrivel up in our ignorance. We will fall with them because the truth is, whether or not we see it, their humanity is the same as our own.
Alrighty, our next poet is Michaela Renner, opening up with "The Smiles Are Just a Mask."
Check. Society. Okay, we're gonna. Yeah. Okay. Society treats people who are struggling like they are broken because they don't see what is done to us constantly. But when we try to reach for help, we are met with a wall of denial. People begin to define us as our struggles, but they tell us to get over it. They assume that the kid who cuts himself wants attention and they hate him for it. They underrate what he is going through. But he has an abusive mother and every day is another battle with addiction. There's no friction to keep him grounded, and you're astounded because he is so good at pretending to be happy. He is so good at pretending. But the angst demands to be felt. He wants someone else to see the scars and help. The girl who's a scapegoat for those who feel insecure ensures herself that this note will be the end of it. And the kid everyone called insane because he just wanted the bully to feel the pain, he was driven to the point of no return by classmates who supplied cruelty with ease. The words hurt worse than the stones because it never resulted in broken bones, but the insults broke his heart. They broke us all, those names you called us, the way we were treated like we would never matter. Every single day we were surrounded by people who took advantage of us. Constant reminders of all those we lost tossed in our faces by people who still had loving parents or grandparents who went to school graduations and award nights. Fights broke out, started by kids who wanted to feel strong again. This distress built up in us for a long time, denied by adults who said we haven't been through anything yet. How are we expected to deal with everything when you tell us this heartache is nothing? Tell that to the kids who couldn't take it, constantly told by everyone that you'll never make it. Or screamed at by a father who had too much to drink. The pain helped us sink even further until that's what we thought you wanted. It became what we wanted too. Even when we took our hearts out from the chest where we kept them buried in the sand to share our pain with you, X marked the spot, but even after all we'd been through, you neglected to see what brought us to this point.
Why that kid smokes a joint every day after school to escape the day's struggles and pretends it's to be cool. Or why the girl in the back of the class comes in wasted, so quick to judge, far less likely to care, to even ask what's wrong. But she is hurting too. I dare those struggling to share with someone out there, a kind supportive person, because you have a choice. Don't be silent, use your voice. Scream to the people who will listen with a plea for help. And if you think you have no one, think again. Don't tear yourself apart to see who will be there, because it might be too late. Don't wait to set yourself free. Please take it from me. And if you think we should stay silent and suffer, well, I could care less, because it constantly feels like we were being hit by a truck. But it won't end. It won't end. Why can't it all be over? Please, just let this pain end. Because we can't fight on our own forever. For the girl who overdosed, another failed attempt as she sits in the hospital bed, her visitors amount to quite a few, but all she can think is, none of them are you. Don't ask me if I'm okay. The answer, I am unable to say. This smile I wear on my face is a mask to hide the pain, but I cannot sustain these lies forever. You looked at me like I was a freak and wondered why I couldn't speak, but I've always been ignored and I was too weak to talk any louder. Nothing I ever spoke held any worth, but I perform this not for me, not so you can comfort me in my strife, because I've learned to reach out. But I'm here for those who think life is not worth it. You think you're worthless, but you're not. You're distraught by negativity, so you remain voiceless. But I want you to speak and seek out those who truly care. I want you to know that I understand. I understand. I've been there too. And if you don't care, then don't stare. We're not animals in a cage, but here for your amusement. Don't tell us it doesn't hurt. There wouldn't be 2 million kids attempting to end their lives every single year if it didn't. Stop holding it all in. That is a battle you can never win. Let me take this weight off your shoulders and put it on my own, so you can feel what it's like to be able to breathe again and know someone is always there.
The Mad Mania, the Madster, Mad Money.
And we're a mess.
I am not a mess.
We're a walking car crash.
Well, I guess I can't disagree.
Oh, yes, we can.
We enjoy crossword puzzles and stimulating banter.
We like biceps and puppies and explosions and guac.
Well, who doesn't like guac?
We like books and grade point averages and thinking things through.
Was that an insult? Are you insulting me? That's so mean.
Enough. I have to get back to work.
No doodling in the margin.
No schmoodling in the schmargin.
Wow. Really? Clever retort.
Come on, we can do this.
Oh my god.
What now?
The love of our lives. He's right there.
You mean the lanky dude?
Tall, dark, and handsome.
Try one of 3.
Dang, that boy's got a body.
As opposed to being a disembodied head?
I don't even know him.
Love at first sight.
Also known as vapid attraction. Does he share our interests? Does he work hard? Has he even seen the Breaking Bad finale?
Who cares?
Is he looking this way?
He's checking us out.
He probably just has a lazy eye.
Shut up. This way. Act casual.
Wink at him. Wink at him.
Would you knock it off? You're making it look like we have a twitch.
Tell him you like him. Tell him you love him. Tell him you want to have his babies.
He's just getting up to blow his nose.
Want children someday?
Yes. You're so careless. You don't know anything.
Relax. I can listen to both of you, just not at the same time. I value both of your opinions, but at a certain point, I have to stop letting you make me look like an idiot.
That's so rude. Are you sure that's our fault? I'm taking back the reins. Fair enough?
Okay.
Fine. I am rational and objective.
I am compassionate and energetic.
That is the beauty of being human.
That is the beauty of being me.
That was phenomenal. This next poet might not look like a rapper, but he sure knows how to spit that fire. This
Never judge a cover. Just because he's a brother from another mother doesn't mean he's different from one another. So please, stop judging others. Yeah. You see them at first glance and you judge them without a chance to prove who they are. They could be a big, bright star. But in reality, you have a set mentality that you know his personality. Get to know him better before you stir up these lies that I despise, and you must realize that these lies don't describe who you are. I mean, if you could read his mind, I bet you find on the inside he's a great guy. And you think you know him, her, and you infer that he seems queer, but now it's clear that the inside is a mighty steer. You have all these mean thoughts. You think that she's a thought, judging by the way she walks. Just ignore all this talk. I mean, why can't you see that even if you're from Cali or Jersey, doesn't mean you can be all judged. No matter where you're from, whether there's snow or sun. So don't ever let people judge you. If only they had a clue about the real you. If only they knew how to see you from your point of view. At first sight, they think they know you in spite of not even knowing your name. It's a damn shame how they claim that they know your mainframe, but they're insane. And whatever they think of you is a big lie. They don't even try to look you in your eye and figure out what you're all about.
That's right.
So next time you think about being judgmental, get it through your thick skull before you babble and rethink what you're about to think. And remember, never judge a cover. Because if you're a brother that judges others, there won't be another. So keep that in mind. Spend your time. Keep out to stop crime.
I still don't know how to snap. I need a better.
Inspired by a relationship that seemed perfect, this is Andrea Juarez with Living After You.
You are not dead. You, girl with the tired eyes, lacking sleep or lacking love, whichever it may be. You, girl with the looking glass eyes. I saw myself in your reflection. I saw someone I liked in you. You are not dead. Your lungs are inhaling the same elements as mine. Your lungs led way to the ocean, while mine were acquainted with the shore, always meeting again and again, crashing into each other. It felt like a kiss, but I know I'm drowning. Your tongue spoke so gently. It was less of a poem and more of a lullaby. Eyes weighing down, heart fluttering around. You made me believe it's possible to fall asleep to the sound of a lovely, lovely disaster. You whispered to me through wires connected from miles away, evermore. You are not dead. Your hands are traveling. My mind was a map, and you wanted nothing more than to explore every highway, avenue, and street I had to offer. I had so much to offer.
You are not dead. Your mind betrays you, but you choose not to listen. Your mind is a hospital corridor, and I know you could not read my mind, but with every brush of a hand, I tried to tell you, do not run to the end of that hallway. There are so many rooms to explore. And I have this red string tied around my finger, and there's one tied around yours. Sweetheart, they are connected, as we are too. And if you cannot gather enough strength to even look my way when I call your name, beaten down and afraid of every commissado uprising in my skull, I will wrap my hand around this doorknob and turn it for you, for us. You are not dead. Girl whose lips have injected me with adrenaline, the best kind, as close as we could get to alone. And although we were always running out of time, it was ecstasy. It was home. And worst kind. They say, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. And even with every inch of my body pressed against yours, I wanted you so much closer than our physical beings could allow. So what does that make you? No label could capture the happiness and simultaneous pain we put each other through. You are not dead, and although some of the lies I regretfully spoke were so sharp they were practically knives, I took your hand and guided you personally to the hell of caring about someone as unpredictably and unapologetically emotional as I. But I am not dead. The pain of you leaving left me grieving for the life we had together, unstable and aching with impossibility. But yet, it was a comfortable catastrophe. Girl who held me vindictively and out of vengeance rather than enchantment, I'm sorry that I thought it was just a dent. And maybe if we pushed hard enough, everything could go back to the way it always been. I forgive you for that day. We were both broken in so many ways. But we are both blinking eyes and beating hearts and breathing lungs. But despite this, I am still digging a grave in my soul, and this tombstone breeds memories of you. Rest peacefully, as if it is possible for me to be at peace when I am constantly being haunted by the ghost of your love, your cold hands murdering the flowers barely beginning to bud in my ribs. They will wither and fall apart, losing all color they once held. But I am burdened with the question that ghost asked me again and again and again, like waves crashing on the shore. Who is this grave really for? The laughter of our past or the happiness in my future? Either way, this shovel will leave splinters in my palms, and those splinters will leave scars that will heal over so nicely, it'll be as if the blood never escaped my body. Girl, that I now see from only one side of a screen. Are you digging as well? If I find myself choking on soil, I can assume it's a yes. But I am not dead. You are not dead. You are just dead to me.
Alrighty, as an expression of his own passion, here is Joey Lanning with Living.
Human interaction. How amazing is that construction? Such a simple little action taken for granted by most but me. I mean, being part of the Guild of the Easily Entertained, it's not quite rocket science for me to pertain to the most typical part of one's day being the most incredible action there is to be. I mean, to live, to exist, to see, to have the... I mean, to live, to be, to exist, to see, to have the privilege of having consciousness and interacting with others, other people, other human beings, sons, daughters, lovers, dreamers, fighters, human beings. Other people like me just doing their thing every now and then, coming together and conversing. Whoa! Slow down up there. Let me explain a bit of my thought process to all you down there. To have this second. To have this second, we are so blessed, as well as to have the consciousness to choose to do with it what we can best. The freedom to do what we want, to run, skip, laugh, play with those countless seconds we have in a day, and I can already hear those naysayers saying, we ain't got no time for none of that playing. Because we got bills, chores, mouths to feed, things that won't stop, that never heed our cries for a break from the constant drone of life that seem to never take a moment to stop adding to our daily strife. That's what I'm talking about, people. Not your problems about your life, not the tribulations that come with it, but the gifts that do, like your rights. The ability to do anything with your heart and your words, to turn someone's day around, make someone smile, to both listen and be heard. The gift of consciousness for us intelligent beings is such a near unfathomable skill. There's such chance and power, opportunities to do with it what we will is astounding. Utterly awesome. How fortunate are we to have the capability, adaptability, veracity, audacity, capability to live. So my advice to you is live. Be free. Dare to do what you want. Free from negativity and obscurity social norms society has brought.
Alrighty, closing our show, this last poet's original attempt at a joke turned into a tribute to her fellow classmates as they approach their final senior days. This is Joy Mead with Ticking Clock.
We walked through the gates freshman year, too scared to look at anyone, and we didn't want to be here. Gazing from left to right in search of a friendly, familiar face. However, nobody warned us that this school was as huge and confusing as a maze. Well, our first Spirit Week was thrown our way, and we were all told to prepare for the famous, well-known Class Distinction Day. But wait, us freshmen were way too cool for that. So we dressed as normal as we can to fit in and seem nonchalant and mellow. Besides, we all thought, who even owns the color yellow? Well, teachers threw soliloquies and geometric functions our way, always reminding us of how annoying freshmen were, day by day. Well, those days stretched to months, and those months formed a year. Finally, sophomore year was here. But little did we know that sophomore stood for overconfident amateurs who think they're so cool. But don't worry, those upperclassmen immediately put us in our place and informed us we were still just childish fools. Well, the clock kept ticking, and a month passed right by. This was when the classrooms' air conditioners were broken, and we thought we were going to die. Friends came and went, but the schoolwork always stayed. Only 2 more years we all longed for and prayed. Seemingly we were never going to get out of this place, finally find our way out of this never-ending maze, make lives for ourselves that didn't revolve around the hottest cliques, jocks, and cheerleading chicks, or forcing us to think about who has the coolest ride, who can be the homecoming king and queen to boost only 2 kids' self-confidence and pride. But while we waited, we had entertainment to pass the days. Like when we were on lockdown because a bomb threat had everyone in a haze. Then we changed our green shirts to blue, and it would seem that we all bit off a little more AP classes than we cared to chew. Then, one more bomb threat was thrown our way, and we were all told to, and the school was left with a collection of 5 students for class that day. Our homecoming left students upset and mad because I think everyone will agree that was the worst homecoming this school has ever had. Well, the clock kept ticking, and those amazingly brilliant students were chosen for honor guard. Previewing what their own graduation day would look like made not feeling scared pretty hard. Were we really that close to finally reaching the end?
Nah, we've still got an entire year left. We've got plenty of time. That big clock portraying our high school lives hasn't even begun to chime. Well, a transition was made from the number 11 to 12, praying that college ups would complete themselves, but the color of pretty pink turns to black because we're all turning 18 and we only long for our youth to come back. But as we mourn the loss of our all childish lives, we must remember to celebrate our newly found adulthood in which we'll soon dive. 1 month left, and we all look around at each friendly face we're so glad we found. Our college ups are done, and we're getting ready to leave. But hold on, I'm not ready yet. The time flew by faster than I can even believe. Wait, this prom is the last school dance we'll ever attend? Only 4 more hours of dancing and socializing is all the time together we have left to spend? Only a couple more classes and maybe a few more tests before we all head off to college, taking out loans amounting in tons of debt? I'm an adult now? Dude, what does that even mean? My weekends still revolve around me sitting on the couch in my pajamas surfing the cartoon channels on the TV. In the beginning, we all couldn't wait for the end. But now that we finally made it around the bend, we realize that the supposed best 4 years of our lives will pass by really quick. And once we leave, the clock will rewind, begin again, and tick, tick, tick.
And that performance concludes our show this evening. Can we get all of our poets back on stage for one big round of applause? Selflessly devoted himself to giving teaching an entirely new meaning. Thank you, Mr. Leonhardi. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great night.